Welcome, everybody. I am so excited to see so many people gathered here to celebrate Black History in the making. Frederick County government has recognized Black History Month with a proclamation for many years, but today is the first time we've hosted a full celebration with performances and presentations from some of Frederick County's own history makers. I see this as an important step towards expanding our official recognition of Black leaders, both during Black History Month and beyond in the years to come. I really want to thank our Human Relations Commission for planting the seed that would grow into today's event, and I also must recognize the hard work and planning of Kelly Cambrell, who was just talking to you. There she is, Kelly, from our Communications and Public Engagement Office, who made sure that the seed took root and could flourish into today's ceremony. So thank you, Kelly. In a few moments, we will be hearing from Arch and how the Arch Society is building a future to remember the past. ARCH stands for African American Resources, Cultural, and Heritage Society, and they've been vital to telling the stories of Black families in Frederick County through the years. Black people in our community continue to make history today, and that is the focus of this celebration. We're here to lift up voices of the trailblazers in our midst, and many are in this room, and many are all throughout our community. So I'm delighted to introduce the first one of these history makers, Frederick County Council Vice President Cavante Duckett. Well, yeah, give him a round of applause. While there have been other Black leaders elected to the Board of Aldermen and the Board of Education, Cavante is the first to be elected to serve in this historic Winchester Hall. So I'm going to introduce Council Vice President Cavante Duckett to say a few words.
Thank you, Madam County Executive. It is indeed a privilege to stand before you all this morning. This thought of being the first, it brings so much joy to my heart. And what's important today, more than ever, is to see the number of young people that are in the building today. One of which was actually here with me on Monday as I gave a tour to the Jack and Jill Jack and Jill Western Maryland chapter. So they joined me here in this room, and we went over some of the history of Winchester Hall of County Government. And so it is moments like those that make this job worthwhile and worth doing, in addition to all the many constituent emails I've received in the last 2 months. But we won't go down that rabbit hole. But the reality is this is only the start. I realize that I may be the first, but I continue to say that I will not be the last person of color to serve in this capacity. There is so much potential in this county, and I recognize that, and we as a society need to recognize that. And one thing that I love about our county executive is that she is willing to raise her voice whenever necessary. And I say that because, it's one thing to recognize Black History Month during February, right? But it's another thing to carry that out in county government, and she has committed to doing that work. And so I thank her for her commitment. Well, like I said, there is a lot of work that still needs to be done. It's no surprise that being the first, I'm often the only person of color in a number of rooms. And at times that can be uncomfortable, but I love being uncomfortable. It is in those moments that I believe that change actually happens. And so the weight of being the first is real. I realize that there are a lot of folks who are depending and relying on the decisions that I make on a daily basis. And I've made the commitment that I feel that it is my job, it is my responsibility to ensure that my colleagues who sit on the dais with me, that I hold them accountable and that they do the same thing for me. So I'm going to veer off a little bit. There are a number of folks in this room who are first, but there is one in the room that I would like to recognize, as he has sort of been the pillar in the African American community. And I believe he has the longest standing African American business in Frederick County, and that is none other than Mr. Gary Rollins. who he and Dr. Denise Rollins, they run the Rollins Life Celebration Center, where I have had the opportunity of being employed since 2011. It's been a long time that I've been with them, but it is businesses such as the Rollins Funeral Home that take a risk on, a young person who really didn't know what direction that he was going to go in. But because of their commitment, I'm just so grateful for the work that they do day in and day out to make sure that I now can be in this place and in this space. And lastly, I want to talk to you all about a power couple in Frederick County, a power couple, a wife and husband duo, Bernard and Ruth Brown, who have really paved the way for so many. They have broken ground, they have altered history, and they have worked together to make sure that Frederick County was a better place for everyone. 2 days ago, that power couple, Miss Ruth Brown, she has gone on to be with the Lord, and it is important that we recognize the work that she has done. But you can't talk about one without talking about the other. 93 years old, and Miss Ruth, she lived on her own terms, right? Both of them. But I am so grateful for the sacrifices that they have made, and it's often overlooked. There's a building with his name on it, but he's more than just a building. He is Frederick history. They are Frederick history. And so we need to do everything that we can do to make sure that we continue to recognize their voices. Because if we now do not get to sit at their table and understand their story and understand their history, it will be lost. And so I honor Mr. Bernard and Miss Ruthie on today for the work that they do, or the work that they have done in Frederick County. And so before I take my seat, I want you all to know that I am still committed, and I will continue to fight for the rights of those who are underrepresented in Frederick County. I will stand up for those who have been marginalized and forgotten. I will serve those who have been underserved. I'm committed to improving the life of residents of Frederick County. And how can we do that? And so number one, that's by expanding access to affordable housing, creating equity of economic opportunity, sponsoring legislation that creates equitable practices in county contracting and procurement, addressing the issues in our public school capacity, just to name a few, and expanding opioid treatment and rehabilitation. And so these are the areas that I am going to focus on in the coming months and the coming years. But one that is of the utmost importance, I am right now working to make sure that we can create a youth advisory council in this county so that young people are truly engaged and involved in county government. And so stay tuned for more information on that. But again, I am so grateful for each of you for being in attendance today. And I look forward to continuing to serve you day in and day out in county government.
Thank you so much, Vice President Duckett. Cavante and I have worked together many times over the past probably almost decade, and I have time and time again been just incredibly impressed by his leadership and his dedication to our community. I was absolutely thrilled when he won the election to fill the District 4 council seat, which was the seat I had the honor of holding for 8 years. And I know that he will continue to serve with integrity and distinction. You heard some of his priorities. We share a lot of priorities, and I'm really looking forward to continue to serve alongside you, Cavante, as we move Frederick County forward. So next, I am very excited to introduce a local artist who uses music to share his experiences and perspectives, and to be able to share that during Black History Month. Asa Weeks came of age in Frederick County as a first-generation American whose parents immigrated from Liberia. And Asa and I met probably about 2 years ago at a Frederick Arts Council event. I'm also a musician, and it was just great to connect with him. And I was immediately impressed by his story and his his passion and talent, and I was so glad when he said yes that he could join us here today. So Asa is joined by two of his colleagues, guitarist Manu Alvarez and sax player Stanford Thomas. They will be performing two of Asa's original pieces, Chaos Before Eternity and Summertime. So we're really excited to have you guys come on up.
Thank you so much, Ms. County Executive. Everyone, as she said, my name is Asa Weeks, and I'm very excited to perform this music for you all. I have some family in the room. I have some familiar faces and unseen faces, so I'm going to do my best for you, and I pray that you guys enjoy it, all right? All right, gentlemen. First off, man, thank you to Vic for dropping Machiavelli. Second, I say thank you to Vince for making FM. Bumping bass inside of the whip, artist confessions. Found that I could roll with the big business profession. Shed a tear and turn it to gold, alchemist lesson. Know the world around him is cold. Wish I hit cold for a blessing. Take me under for a record. Know my soul got a message. Hope that he could take the pen, put it to the pad and get this rolling with me. Been down on my lines, I'm feeling bolder lately. She doubting her curves, craving some motivation. You beautiful soul, know you control the nation. They scared of our whole lineage, gold in it. Whole city home winning, hit the ball, the pole bending. Homegrown homeland, no man can take me from my family greatness. I wish they would try to paint my picture. I wish they would take our land and our homes and our businesses and stoves. Take our sound and our clothes. The last thing you try to take's that beauty in my soul. You must be stupid, think we'll listen to you. You must be tripping, think we'll give it to you. You know what's so outrageous? Half a score of school and I ain't seen my fam in pages. Only thing they showed us how they let them out them cages. Now we celebrating the same dude who came through and shot through. The real dudes to stand high. Forget about politicking, we ain't sitting back on standby. Yeah, I got them licenses, that money come on landslide. I ain't want no funds unless I work for them on my grind. Difference in you and I, you'll jug it, I'm anti-social, that is. I know some people who could profit off the social, my kid. I got some folks in my phone really boasting, my kid. All these lessons that I learned, let's take it global, my kid. I'm really praying they see it. Top floor, big dogs, ain't no vultures in here. They say it's lonely at the top, but we got homies for real. I've been scheming over dreams with the homies on meals, and now we all on wheels. I love how good this feels. They see us laughing over lunch, say we cantankerous. Got my hands up to the Lord, they see me as dangerous, God. Got my hands up to the Lord, they still see me as dangerous, Lord. They still see me as dangerous, God. How do you see me as dangerous, God? Okay, this song is called Summertime, and if you see this video, it was done by me and myself and this wonderful man, Mike D, right here with the camera. He doesn't like attention, but we're gonna give him a little attention. So please, it showcases the city, and just enjoy. Look. Sister hit me, said, baby brother, you make me proud. Talk to Pops and I play the tracks, know he with me now. Months ago, phone was dry, but now it's raining down. Got some folks on our side, we ain't gonna let them down. 5 o'clock and the pinky finger right on the rocks. Hit a FaceTime with cousin, he said, little boy, you pop. Had to step out of Baltimore, get the city rocking. Now we talking about videos, get the cameras clocked. I guess it's all in the time, ain't got no heart in your mind. Can't get no cracks in the cave if you ain't caught in your mind. Can't hit no balls at the park if you ain't got a bat. How you go flame with the spark if you ain't got a match? I keep it simple, Bars is me, ain't no rental. Pardon me for my happiness, gotta show off my dimples. Flowers affect my allergies, medicine gon' be difficult. People told me go harder, this is merely reciprocal. Stand. Come on, Stan. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right about now, windows down, I'm feeling good. Bumping that stank, Mark Rabier up in the hood. Cheesing that great, gon' dress that plate and catch them looks. Carnivore honest, we killed it, tracked it like we should. We back and making the moves, packing plano for grooves. My blackness so dang attractive, I keep it warm in a suit, or maybe flexing a hoodie. I candy, we rockin' goodies. Shorty told me she loved the song, man, the feeling's good. I gotta get what I feel on chest, you manifest or tweeting. Don't second guess, no heart, no best, have faith in what you speaking. Need summertime to come back round, got friends who hate cold season. I seen what it's like far from home, no, this can be war beacon. Sing, come around, come around. Summertime, will you please come around? Can't step outside until you come around. Need sun to shine, will you please come around? I said come around, come around. Summertime, will you please come around? Can't step outside until you come around. Need sun to shine, will you please come around, come around. Everybody clap with me. Everybody just right here snap with me. Snap with me, snap. There you go. Thank you so much.
Yes. Oh, it is actually hard to come up to a microphone after that man is on a microphone. So, oh gosh, thank you. Wow. Oh, that was incredible. That just happened in this room, guys. That is something. Whew. Oh. Thank you all so much for sharing your talents with us. This is Black History in the Making. That is what we were trying to do today, so it really amazing. And Cavante said it already, but this room is full of history makers, and we haven't named you all, but I just want to say thank you for everything that you do in our community. You know, we've talked over these last few months as my administration has been taking off that our core values of this administration are accountability and inclusion and sustainability, and really taking those words of equity and inclusion and diversity and not letting them just be buzzwords on a page, but making them actually a part of everything that we do in Frederick County government and as a community. And so next I'm going to introduce Frederick County's Chief Equity and Inclusion Officer, Michael Hughes. Michael has been making his own quiet history within Frederick County government as he works to create a more equitable and inclusive culture here in county government. And as I said, inclusion is a core value as we move ahead. And there are many folks in this room that are part of my transition team that are bringing their incredible contributions to the table, helping us mold our priorities as we move forward, not just in this administration, but into the future. So thank all of you as well. Michael, along with his equally awesome colleague, Lakeisha Wade, they are working hard every day, training staff, removing barriers so our workforce can better reflect the community that we serve. So Michael, we're excited that you're here, and come on up. And I don't know where he is. Oh, there he is. Come on up, Michael.
Thank you, Madam County Executive. Exciting to be here. Well, this is amazing. As County Executive pointed out, this is happening in this space. Wouldn't have imagined this. But you know, this is what we do. This is what black folks do. We make things happen. We've shaped this country. And we are continuing, you know, we talk about being a democracy, and this is what this building is designed to represent, but real democracy, a demonstration of that, one of the greatest demonstrations, at least more recently in Frederick County government, is what happened in the streets after the murder of George Floyd. That was democracy, because folks came out. It wasn't just black folks, but black folks came out. And we said, no, 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 this is a democracy, and we won't have this. In other words, America dreams and talks about being a democratic society, that all men are created equal, and then we operate in that way. And black folks said, no, we're going to make it a real democracy. We have made this country a democracy, and others have followed in our footsteps. I've ridden our coattails to get there. We have led the way, and we will continue to do that. We make history. We are history. America's history is our history. Our history is America's history. We as black people, we have stories to tell, forgotten stories. It was before I came here when the Tale of the Line, but I got to watch the video and hear the folks talk about, tell the stories, the history of Frederick County, and these things that I'm still learning because I'm new in the area. But so many great things have happened here in Frederick County, and we're still making new things happen and great things happen. And what I love about it as well is we're not trying to fit in. We've decided, okay, you don't want us to fit in? Well, we'll shape it and make it ourselves. And now they're fitting into what we build. Imagine, I watch a lot of European dramas and things. I'm watching what's happening overseas, and I see so much black culture, American black culture, across the seas. We're influencing and shaping the world, not just Frederick County, but influencing and shaping the entire societies around us as well. And what I love about it is we bring our authentic selves to it. We're going to be ourselves from now on. And that's what's shaping and changing, and folks are following us. We're setting the tone, and we're communicating our expectations. And that's what I love about this new administration. This new administration that set a tone for being authentic, for being transparent, and being accountable. And we will hold America accountable. And that's what we're out to do. And so our office is Office of Equity and Inclusion. We're leading the charge. We're one of the folks that are leading the charge across the county to do just that. Because there is a gap. There's a gap between the government. As a matter of fact, the gaps exist because of the government. And now we're holding the government accountable to bridge those gaps, to do what is right now. And we will do that, and we will lead the charge to do that. And we will keep moving that forward until we see it happen. We're a part of the change. We are leading the change. And we're bringing a clear voice to the table, clear about what we expect, clear about who we are, clear about what we're going to build. And it's exciting to come to Frederick County government and be a part of what is happening. And so we are working hard to make sure that one of the things we want to make sure that we're doing is hearing the voice of the people. We're a two-person office right now. The Office of Equity and Inclusion is a two-person shop. But we're excited to get behind what is happening in the community, to be a part of what you're doing, not just simply provide leadership ourselves, but follow your leadership and your efforts and the things that you're doing as well. So we're excited to be here. If I can just get, she doesn't want me to do this, but just quickly, Lakeisha, will you just stand up real quick? I want folks to know who you are. And so, but I came to my position myself because there were about 20 people from the community on my interview team. So I thank you for bringing me here. I thank you for letting me be a part of Frederick County government. It's exciting, and we'll do great things together. Thank you, County Executive.
Thank you, Michael, for your words today and your efforts every day. And we have been putting in the effort. We have a lot of work to do, we know, but it is work worth doing, and it has truly been exciting to see our county staff invested in doing the work with us. Next, I am very honored to introduce Protein Jabril. Did I say your last name correctly? Okay. I want to be corrected when I'm not right on that. She is the president of the Arch Society, and Protein is a U.S. Air Force veteran and a senior analyst for a large federal agency, and has also been a leader in the Western Maryland chapter of Jack and Jill of America, an organization that provides social, cultural, and educational opportunities for our youth. Protein is going to share with us the latest information about Arch's Heritage Center, including unveiling the museum schematics and showing us a trailer for the newest documentary, which celebrates the 100th anniversary of Lincoln High School. So we're really excited to hear more about all of this incredible work. So welcome, Protein.
So, hello, my name is Protein Jabril. I live out in the county in Mount Airy. Been living over there for about 23 years. Just because I just wanted to tell you, out on Rising Ridge, there was a huge sign of the other person, and it was a small sign of you, and look at where you are now. I just thought that was pretty cool. I pass that every day. So I just want to thank everyone for having me here, especially the newly elected officials. And I see a sea of people that I know. I live in Mount Airy, but I'm connected to so many different things here. First of all, Arch Society, and also Jack and Jill of America. There's their president, Nakisha Williams, and some of her students here, and then there's other groups here that I'm connected to. But what I really like to say is that I'm so honored to serve Arch Society. These people have been amazingly wonderful to me, and they embraced me. I cannot believe the love that I have received. Rose Cheney, the vessel for us. Miss Barbara is my best. I can call Miss Barbara anytime and get anything from her. What do you want, Protein? So, and there's lots of Arch members here. If you could just raise your hand if you're a member of Arch. Awesome. So we need more people in our group. So I just wanted to say also that this has been a challenge for me, and I just want you to know I retired in May. So yes, and that was exciting. Yeah, thanks. But I feel like I'm still working, you know. So, but this has been great, and I'd like to start with just showing you a brief little history of what we've been doing in Arch Society. So that is our space. That's 125 East All Saint Street. We are very excited and poised to start our design phase of the museum. We have a company out of Boston that's doing a lot of our work. This is groundbreaking for us, and I'm very excited about it. Yesterday, I had Miss Mary Harris came out to visit us. And the first thing she said was, well, you got to make the doors bigger so my chair can get in here. So, you know, she maneuvered herself in, but it was really nice to give her this brief yesterday. The full brief will be going to the mayor because he's the city is the people that have given us an amazing opportunity for the lease. So the full brief will be done to them. The schematic drawings will be given to the city. But what we wanted to do is just to share just a little bit of what we've been doing in the space. So this is our design team. They're called Amaze Design out of Boston. They did the New York Burial Grounds. They did the Austin Wilson Museum in Pittsburgh. One thing that we decided to use them because they know how to handle things in small spaces. They know how to give agency to things in small spaces. And one of the things that we want to do with this museum is make sure that our children have agency in this museum. So very excited about that. Next slide. There's our space. We're on the ground floor of the parking garage at 125 East All Saint Street. We have secured a lot of our construction money, and we need to earn some more. I mean, not earn, but fundraise for more. And we're very excited about this, and we hope we can have our construction phase done by the end of 2023. This is it's a little bit of an old schematics, but I wanted to just share that we have been tossing this thing around for about 3 or 4 months, and we have kind of segmented out the spaces. We're moving the back office space here. We move it up front. We're just tossing it around. We have an amazing historian, Michelle Wright, who's our local Frederictonian, and she is our historian and writing the content for the museum space. She's working also with Amaze Design with the content development. We saw a first draft of that, and I think you're going to be really impressed with what is in the space. Next slide. Again, you know, our mission, I think just being here today to share that video is our mission. We identify, we collect, we preserve, and we populate it out to the public. So that is a huge piece of what we're doing here. Next slide. I don't want to kind of go too much into this, but Amaze Design is going to be just really ready to pause and have our space ready for us. I mean, the design space ready for us in the next couple of months. Very excited about that. We can pass on. Again, all of our programming, everyone knows if you've ever been on one of our tours, Dee Jenkins gives the best tours, and they are wonderful, and I think she should get a hand for that. I think I went on one and I thought I had learned something, and the next time I went, it was something totally different. So she's constantly keeping it turned and spiced up, and we're really appreciative. We want to continue our programs. Ms. Barbara does Arch Reads. That's a great program. And could you give her a hand for that? Because And I think we are going to have some new readers coming on soon. I think Mr. Cavante Duckett did one. He did a really good job on it. Was it hair care? Yes, yes. So it was really beautiful. And so we have other programming that we want to do. We want to reach out to young people, and we have a group here, and let them own this space. We need to be able to pass this baton on to you. And it's your space. It's not only the older generation. We want you to own it as well. Next slide. These are some of our sponsors, and we are really grateful. We are going to, hopefully we'll have more. We are so blessed with people that are trying to help us, individual people that are taking time out of their busy day to help us. Maryland Bagel is one of those people. We really appreciate the writing that you're helping us with and helping us understand how to get our communications out. So we really appreciate that as well. Next slide. So, Old Faithful Lincoln. This is what we are all about, making sure that this history is preserved and taken care of. I am so honored when I look in our collection space and see all the items that we have from Lincoln. We have some of Lincoln's students here with us today. I'm very excited about that. I have looked at all the yearbooks. One of the things that struck me very interesting at one class, and I can't recall which one, but a lot of the women were interested in the Air Force. And I'm wondering why, because I had to join the Air Force out of necessity. We just needed the money for me to get to school. But I was just really impressed with a bunch of the women that said in their goals was to join the Air Force, and I'm curious to know what they did with their lives after that. Next slide. I wanted to also, as Cavante did, just honor Miss Ruth, and I found this picture in our collection. Rose Cheney shared it with me, and she didn't tell me who Miss Ruth was. I have met Mr. Bernard Brown before, but I assumed that was those two people. And when I asked her to confirm it, and she said I was right with that. So with that, I thought we should lead into the video. I don't want to take up too much time, but thank you so much, and I really appreciate the community. Thank you. This video will be shown in full at Jackson Chapel on Sunday at 3 o'clock. Ms. Barbara will be Thomas will be hosting that event. Thank you. Nothing to do, lazy students. Nothing to do, so you say. Let's take a trip to memory ship, back to our bygone days. Let's sail to the old Lincoln High School, anchor outside the school door.
We want to tell future generations that we saved part of that charm as well as an important part of their history, that we didn't let our history vanish, not on our watch.
You knew that things were different. And you knew that. So you didn't accept it all the time, but you knew how things were. So it was no really big shock.
Lincoln was a refuge. It was a safety zone. It was a zone where I got a lot of comfort from. And my life just changed. Everything changed.
I think Lincoln High School prepared me for a lot of things. I'm very proud of what they did for me at that time with what they would do, what they had to learn.
I thought that they had the best lunches going. I just love the spaghetti and the coleslaw and peas. Oh my goodness. Because they could, those people could cook the food,
And you felt like they really cared about you.
Right.
You felt like you really was a part of that family. From Mr. Henson all the way down to Miss Hutchins.
They taught me discipline. They taught me as best they probably did under the situation that we were in. And then they taught me to be a kind person. Because the teachers at Lincoln lived in the neighborhood. And if I did something wrong, it got home.
The teachers here at Lincoln were very good as they could ever be. But the background and what they had to work with, we had a rough time, but we got through.
I won't forget the memories. I won't forget the people. I won't forget the teachers. Because we don't want to forget from whence we come.
Although our hearts are often sad, after we come to our final test, yet deep in our hearts we know at last that Lincoln, oh Lincoln, the best.
Thank you, Protein, and everyone at Arch, and I know we're all very, very excited to see the full documentary, and we have some of the folks featured in the documentary are here, so that's really incredible. As Protein mentioned, the center is truly a community collaboration, and Frederick County government is proud to have invested in this important project, and I know everyone here is looking forward to walking through the center's doors as the project continues and making sure that we have the opportunity to see history come to life through the exhibits. So we're just really excited to see the progress that's happening. Younger generations must understand our community's history in order to bring meaningful change to our community. And one opportunity for this learning happened actually just 1 week ago at Frederick High School, where members of the Black Student Union and their educator leader, Maya Massey, organized an event to recognize and hear the stories of another history maker, Miss Pat Gaither, who was at Lincoln and then transferred to Frederick High School and was the first female student to graduate from Frederick High in 1960. And Miss Pat is here today as well, so really excited to have her here. So our next group of performers are an amazing group of young women who have also made a commitment to understand Black history and what it means to become a Black woman in today's world. These young women belong to a group called Udata Legacy, and Udata Legacy is a local program designed for young Black women between the ages of 11 to 13 that recognize and celebrate their transition to womanhood, focusing on fostering confidence, resilience, cultural and psychological awareness, and sisterhood. So they will be reciting The Hill We Climb by poet Amanda Gorman, which I'm sure many of you will remember from the inauguration of President Biden. And they're led by Udata founder Zakiya White, who's also here. So we're really excited to welcome them up. I heard Udata recite this poem at last year's Seed to Roots event, which this year's just happened on Monday at the Weinberg Center. I know probably a lot of you were there as well. And I was just simply blown away by the power of their voices, the clear work and intention that went into preparing, coupled with the power of the words of Miss Gorman. So I know you'll be equally blown away. So come on up, guys.
Good morning. We are the young ladies from Udata Legacy, and we'll be reciting Amanda Gorman's The Hill We Climb. Miss Gorman, a Black poet and activist, was the first National Youth Poet Laureate, and she recited her poem at the inauguration of President Joseph Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. The Hill We Climb. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We brave the belly of the beast. We've learned quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what just isn't always justice. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished.
We, the successors of our country in a time where a skinny black girl, descended from slaves and raised by a single mother, can dream of becoming president only to find herself residing from one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge a union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man.
And so, we lift our gaze, not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our futures first, and to put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true, that even as we grieved, we grew.
That even as we hurt, we hoped. That even as we tired, we tried. That we'll always be tied together, victorious. Not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made.
This is the promise to the glade, the hill we climb if only we dare. Because being American is more than the pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated.
In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history had its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it, we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves.
We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be. A country that is bruised, but whole, benevolent, but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Become the future. Our blunders will become their burdens, but one thing is certain.
If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and changes our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a world better than the one we were left. Every breath of my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the golden hills of the west. We will rise from the wind-swept northeast where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states.
We will rise from the sun-baked south. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover. In every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country, our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge, battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade of a flame unafraid. A new dawn balloons as we free it. For there is always a light, if only we're brave enough to see it. If only we're brave enough to be it.
Thank you. Wasn't that incredible? Let's give them another round of applause. I appreciate each of these young women for taking time away from their studies to be present with us this morning, and I will also recognize Malia and McKenna, who were former music students of mine at Oakdale Elementary many years ago, so it's extra cool to see them up here. Really want to just say thank you to everybody who made time to come out today. It's truly been an amazing morning. And at this time, I would like to invite Mary Lee, who is the chair of our Human Relations Commission, and also other members of the HRC who are here, to come on up and help me present the Black History Month proclamation. Mary is also a history maker. She is the first ever president of our Democratic Central Committee as an elected member, so she's a history maker too. She wears a lot of hats, those of you who know Mary. All right, so Whereas Black History Month was first held in 1926 as a week-long commemoration created by distinguished Black historian Carter G. Woodson. At this time, historical accounts of the Black experience in America were largely ignored by dominant white historians and documentarians. Woodson himself was barred from attending American Historical Association conferences, despite being a dues-paying member of the organization. And whereas in the face of such open discrimination, Woodson made it his mission to ensure Black scholars and students could study and preserve the rich and distinct history of Black people in the United States. And whereas in 1976, the U.S. government officially designated the month of February Black History Month after many years of smaller scale celebrations. And whereas the study of the Black American experience must continue to be important to all of us. It includes the shameful history and legacy of the slave trade and Jim Crow era, as well as ongoing racial and economic injustices faced by Black people even still today. And whereas the celebration of Black History Month is a unique and important opportunity to honor Black Americans both locally and nationwide who, despite these many barriers, have made and continue to make undeniable contributions to our culture and society. And now, therefore, as the County Executive of Frederick County, Maryland, I do hereby proclaim the month of February 2023 as Black History Month in Frederick County and encourage all residents to join me in embracing Black American history both this month and every month and for years to come. Signed by me and presented this 23rd day of February 2023. All right, well, thank you all for joining us for this wonderful celebration of Frederick County Black history in the making, and I hope you all have an incredible rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.